Hello everyone, you guys are welcome to my editing tutorial. Now today I will show you how I edited these pictures. Now I posted this video last week, the photo shoot, the behind the scenes and the edited pictures as well. So if you haven't watched that review, you can pause this or you can finish this and then head over to my YouTube channel or just go to my playlist and watch the behind the scene. We got some amazing photos. But this tutorial is just to show you my process because I edited the pictures the same way. Now, the theme of the photo shoot was like dark and moody, dramatic portrait of a sport teenager, that someone who is into football and is trying to find his way to the top. And, is just strong and bold and is ready to go through the rigor. And so I make sure that most of the pictures are, dramatic portrait, but they're dark and moody and just giving that vibes and all that. So yes, if you want to go back and watch that, and that'll be great. So let's talk about this photo itself. So this is the photo and we have a couple of them right here. But we'll be concentrating on this image itself. What I'll be doing particularly is to make sure that for most parts in this editing, I will be fast forwarding some parts. Once I show you how to do it, then I'm going to fast forward that part. Otherwise, we're going to be here for like more than an hour or thereabout. So, but if I'm editing this on my own for clients, I'll probably take my time. But for this purpose of, I'll show you a step and maybe fast forward that part. And I might leave it if I think is something that is very important that I don't need to fast forward. Okay. So let's start. So here is the image itself, the original image. You guys can see there's nothing has been done yet. Here is the ISO 100, the settings. It was shot at 1/8000 and I was shooting at f1.2 on a 50 mm lens. Okay. So what we're going to do now is the first thing I normally do right here. Now, one thing with Capture One, you can use any software that you like Lightroom, and all that. It doesn't really, they will probably do almost the same thing. But I'm used to using Capture One and I like the workflow and everything like that. So that is basically the reason why I'm using Capture One. So the first thing that I would do is to look at the image and decide on what I want to do. Now, because I know that it's dark and moody, I could have done sky replacement, but for this image, I'm not going to do sky replacement because I can just replace the sky with a blue sky or something like that. But because it's dark and moody, this is how I want it to look in terms of the background. But maybe I feel like it's too warm. So this gives us a lot of AI tool inside Capture One. That's another thing that they've now implemented inside Capture One. So if I click on the background and then you use M to reveal the area that has been selected. So to confirm it, if I click on M, you guys can see that the image itself is isolated and the whole back is selected. So what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can either increase the warmness at the back or just reduce it. So maybe we're going to leave it like that, a little bit, just go down. I think that's fine. Then the second thing I want to do is now to work on the subject itself. Okay. Another thing I can do to the background while I'm there is I can also create another layer. I think the grass here is too dark right here. So what I can do is create another layer. And then what I do here is just take this magic AI tool here, AI brush. Then I can select this side and let's see that. And I can select this side too. So both sides are selected, just the grass at that end. Let me see whether I can just select this ones as well. Yeah, so I can select that one. I can select that one. I think that is all I want to select. Then I just want to lift it a little bit. Okay, just a little bit. I think that's okay. And I want to go to the advanced tab here for the colors, and I'm going to just take this and click on that and just drag that there and And then I'm going to try the hue just to make it more blue. Then saturation, don't go overboard. Okay, so I think that's pretty good there. I'm okay, I'm fine with that. Now let's go to the subject itself. So this one we can name it like grass, or let's just say green grass. So it's good to do this so that you can go back if you want to readjust something, you want to delete something, you will know which layer, what each layer is doing. So now let's click on that again, and now let's work on the subject. So I'm going to zoom in. It's got some, good eyes and all that. It's a good feature as well, which I want to accentuate and all that. But I'll come back to that later. I'll do that in Photoshop. You can do a bit of that in Capture One as well, but I'll rather want to do this in Photoshop. So let me just take this and I'm just gonna click on that, the hand one, and then zoom it in a little bit more. Okay, and I'm gonna bring it out here. Now on this layer, I'll just call it skin tone. So skin tone. Okay. Now I need to select. So I'm gonna click on that brush. I just want the body alone. Okay, not the cloth, not anything. And we can see that it's selected. Let me now see whether I'll check on the arms later on. But what I don't want is I don't want the eyes. I don't want the eyes to be selected because you don't want to apply the same thing. So I can just remove the eye by cleaning off, removing. Okay, because I don't want the same color that is affecting the skin to affect the eyeballs and all things like that. So we take that off. So okay, I think that's good. Yeah, it's not perfect. I will leave the lips. I could, if I have time, I could have done the same thing with the lips, but we'll leave it just to make us work quicker. But just know you can do that. I'm using the eraser one. I'm just using to clean up that place. I can also use the AI eraser to do it as well. But I think this one worked better. And let's now work on the eyes. Now it's too like magenta skin, and I just want to reduce all that. So I think the first thing I would do is to bring down these beats, and I think that's about right for me. And then I want to go to the skin tone section. So there's a skin tone section here, which you can go to, and I'll click on this one, then click on the part of skins that I feel is the right texture or the right color that I want the whole face to look like. So if I look at this one, I think I prefer something like that. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna just bring this down. Okay, the smoothness. So we don't want it to spread. We just want to. So let's try the hue and bring down the hue now. If I go that way, I don't want that. That's done to like, I'm just going to reduce it a bit and also reduce the saturation a bit, because we're still going to have, color vibrancy in Photoshop and all that. So I'm just going to reduce the lightness again. And I think I'm okay with that. Now I want to see, because I want it to be the same skin tone for the arms as well. So you can see that we've not selected the arms. The arms has not been selected. What I can then do is to use this again and just select the arms automatically. Boom. So the same thing that's applying to the face is now being applied to the hand. So, which is what I want. Now, I want to lift the cloth a little bit. I'll just leave the skin as it is now. But I feel like the cloth, maybe I should leave it as it is. Okay, we can work on the hair just to give it some shape, so some color. So what I'm going to do is click on the create another layer for that, and I'm going to select this now. So we can call this one hair, and then I'll use this brush to select the hair alone. So let's just now I think okay, now we've selected the hair alone, and I think that looks better. I'm just gonna now see, I'm going to go to the advanced color tool here. First of all, let me use this one and see, just erase the shadow a little bit. Yeah, I like that, because I want the hair to be separated from the background. and all that to pop. So now I'm going to go to the color tab and just click on this one and select the hair. Now we have that. So what I'm going to do is reduce the smoothness, then the hue. I bring it to that color. I think I like that color, and I increase the saturation. I like that. I like that one. And then the lightness a little bit. Maybe prop it up a bit. Yeah, so let's look at the before of everything that we've done so far. So here is the after, but here is the before, after, before, after. So I'm gonna take that off down. So I think pretty much, I could, bring up the cloth and everything and just raise the shadow a bit. But I think I would leave the cloth as well. So now I think I'm happy with this one. And what we now do next is I will take these to Photoshop. So let's go to Photoshop now. So now we are going to be in the world of Photoshop. So I'm just waiting for it to load up. Okay, so now we have it in Photoshop right here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom it in, and I want to move it closer to me, because the first thing I want to work on in Photoshop is the eyes. I want to work on those eyes. I want to accentuate those eyes because it's a good features. It's a good feature, but I don't want to go overboard. So, all the technique that I'm going to be using today, I pick it from different people online everywhere, watching different reviews, and you can do so. And then there's a lot of free education on YouTube. So this is practically self-taught for me. Nobody taught me how to use Photoshop or anything. It was just totally self-taught and all that. So I'm going to create another layer on Photoshop, duplicate the background layer, because we want to use a non-destructive technique that like we use in Capture One. Like we can go back and correct any layer that we want to correct. If we don't do it this way, we don't create a layer for each step, then it's destructive. So you cannot go back retrospectively and adjust something. Maybe it's too much, realize it's too much, you can't go back. So that's why we're doing it this way. And we should name it as well. So I'll just call this one eyes as well, just for us to know what we're doing. And the first thing I want to do is now we're going to use this tool right here. This is a tool right here, and I'm going to hold the shift key, right? I'm going to have that like that, and I'm going to have it like that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to move this just to be on the same. Okay, I think that is good. Now I'll now press on this here levels. We call this levels. Once I do that, then I'll change the blending mode right here. Change the blending mode to anything that I feel like I like it. Sometimes I like this color dodge, or you can change it to this one. But I just feel like, I don't know why. Okay, let's make it lighter first. Okay, I'm gonna use that, and what I want to do right here is to clean up those areas, like these areas here. So now I take my brush, my normal brush, just make sure that the flow is maybe at 100% or something like that. And I'm going to reduce the brush to that size, and then, okay. So anytime you have the black layer, like this one here, right here, it's like you're taking some things off. When you have the white one, is here, you're painting over stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. Now the eyes is brighter now, like we are making it pop. That's what we are doing with the eyes. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that. I can go extra on the eyes as well. So I have another action that I use. So one thing I want to say to you, to make your work very fast and make your life easier, you will need actions, different action. And most of the actions that I'm going to be using today, I took it from different people on YouTube as well. And I look at how they use it, and I use it. I mean, you can create your own by yourself, for yourself, but these are already created by different peoples. And we also have different AI tools that can do all this job for you. But I just think that learning manual is better. At least you know how these things are done. And then if you have opportunity of this AI, then you can also use them. And most of the AI I've seen, they work good, very good. But sometimes they are hit and miss. So I would say I prefer to just still use manual. But if you have volume of work, let's say you're editing like 50 pictures a day, then that will be too much for you. As in, you probably need AI for that to help you at least speed up some certain part of that editing workflow, and then you probably do the rest yourself, or you can ask the AI to do everything. So now we can see that, let's say the before and the after, before and after. There's so much different. Like I said, you don't want to go overboard. So let me just reduce the opacity a little bit. Let's bring it down to about maybe 70. Okay. All right. That's okay. So what I want to do is I'd use the second eye action that I have. So I'm trying to look for that. Okay. So I've got the eye here, right here. Let me just look for it. Okay. I'm bad with these actions because I should have actually maybe color code them or do something. But anyway, I'm going to use this one first, and I'm going to bring down these actions. Like I said, you can create them yourself, but since there are a lot of them on online, I just use them anyway. So this is just to clean up the eyes. So there are different steps in each of these actions. So I'm going to click play again. Then it will give me opportunity to brighten up this kicker light here. So I'm just going to reduce this. Let me reduce this. Okay. And then I'm going to reduce the flow to about 4, and then paint on those area. And again, I'll play again. So the next one will now be the highlight. So I'm just going to come a little bit down here, and just the opposite of where the kicker light is. That's where you use this dab light for. And so that's fine. And then I click on that play again, and it gives me the dab light highlight. So I might stay in there again. Then okay, so next, just to make this white area more white, like now it's not white. I mean, I don't need to do that because I'm doing darker mode, but let me just do it. I'll reduce the flow to about 1, and let's just paint over it, and you guys will see a slight difference now. But I can go even harder and make it more. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that because I don't want to do too much. I'm going to play again. Now here is where I can add the color to these highs. So I'm going to put the flow back to 100, and I'm going to just paint just to give it, that. I'm going to paint over that. Okay, and you guys will see like that the differences. I mean, things are like a little bit different. Let's look at that. You can see the color before and after. So definitely not too much, but at least there's something going on there. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So now I can sharpen the eyes now. And so I'm just sharpen the eyes. First of all, I'll do this one, the white area. And then I'll go again and then do the iris as well. I'm just sharpening up the iris. Okay, so we sharpen up the iris. Okay, and I'm happy with that now. So we're done with the eye. So let's zoom out now. We're gonna zoom out. Okay, and it's a lot different now. So let's see before and after, before and after. Let me move it closer so you can see more. Before and after. Not too much, but I mean, there's a difference from where we are coming from. Okay, so the next thing now is to now do frequency separation. So I'm going to do frequency separation right now. And this frequency separation will help me do a few things like remove the blemishes, all these blemishes on the face. Not only that, I will also be able to smoothen out the skin a little bit. I don't want to go overboard. I don't want the person to look like plastic, but I want to be realistic. So we'll still maintain texture on the skin. So that's the whole idea of this frequency separation. So I'm going to move it closer, and we'll click on already have action for this as well, for the frequency separation. Okay, so now you have to pick what you think is best. So if I look at this one, you just want to make it look smooth. So let me see if I bring it around 6, maybe around that 8 is okay. So I'm going to leave out around 8. Let's try it. Okay. We'll leave it like that. And I'm going to come back here, bring it down. First of all, the higher frequency will allow me to remove all those blemishes. So I'm going to just move it here. I'm going to use this one, the close stamp tool. And let me see. So I'm reducing the brush right here using the bracket sign. So I'm going to hold down the option key. Look for a clean area that resembles the that is very similar to the where the spots are. Then you paint it over. You first of all select from this clean area, right? Then you release. Then you paint over. You guys can see, and you release. I pick up this area, then release it. Your hand on the option key, then paint it over. So that's how I'm going to do it. All right. So I'm going to be quick and fast in this area. So what I want to say is that this area might be fast forwarded. And let's do the before and the after now. Before, you guys can see how much that is. So I'm going to zoom it a little bit more in. Let's do the before. This is before. This is after. So before, after, before, after. So that is that. So now I'm going to paint to make the skin more smooth. To do that, I'll go to the lower frequency here. Then I'll use the mixer brush. Now, with the mixer brush, you need to be careful because if you do it too, you have to make sure, be careful of the area that you are smoothing. Like you're using the mixer brush, like it's called mixer brush for a reason. If you have an area where one is like dark, smooth, dark, light, you have to be careful. You have to do one area at a time, even if it is a small area. Once they are different from another area, you need to do them separately. Paint that area, lift your hand, then go to the other area. So you guys can see here, there's a shadow right here, and this part is lighter, and even the skin tone in here is a bit different. So what I'm going to do is reduce the brush, and I'll do this area first. And after, that's a drastic change. Let's look a bit closer. Before and after. This is after, and this is before. After, before. I think there's a massive difference there. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I can do the arms as well, but I'll probably leave it. Let me just see if I should do the arms. Okay, let's just do it again. I'll just kind of paint over the arms. Let's just give it some little. I'm not, like I said, and I should have been careful with this arm as well, but I'm just, all right. We don't leave that like that. So I'm happy with where we are now. And the next thing I want to do is I could do dodge and burn, but most time when people do frequency separation, they don't do dodge and burn, like sometimes, but but let me show you if I want to do dodge and burn. I already have another action for that. Is somewhere here, dodge and burn. So the dodge is lightening up, giving your eyes a shape and dimension, like a makeup artist will. So the lighter area of the face, you lighten it up more, just give it some depth and dimension, shape and all that. And then the darker side, you darken them more, and then there'll be a contrast of both that give you that gray dimension that you want. So let's just do that, and let me show you guys. So I'm going to reduce the flow to about, let's say 2. Okay, and then so I need to play that. So the dodge. So I'm just gonna work on the lighter parts. Okay, those are the lighter part. Those are the lighter part right here. Okay, below the eye. Yeah, and I think that's okay. All right, so let's do the before and just a subtle change. It's not going to be massive, a subtle one. Okay, now I'm going to do the bun now. So the bun, and then I'll go over these darker areas and go over the side that way there, and pretty much this way, and let's see what we've got. Let's see what we've got now. Let's do before and after. It's a subtle change, and you guys might not see a lot going on, but there's a lot going on there. Let me just subtle changes. Okay, so I'm happy with that now. I mean, there's not much to do about this picture. I like it the way it is. I could crop it, but I would rather leave it as it is as well. So what I'll do next is I'm going to try and just add color to this image, and I'm going to come down here. I have another action, sharpen the image up. The image is already sharp already, but I just want to sharpen it more. I have another action for sharpening, and I'm going to click on that. I'm okay with that because it's already sharpened, so I think I'll be fine with that. And then I can reduce the contrast. So let me use this one. We are doing darker mode, so you have to remember. And now I want to add some color to it. So now, boom. But that's too much. That's too much. So I'm going to reduce it to about 34, and maybe around that. I think that's about okay. Let's move it to like 34. And that is it. And that is everything that we need to do. So here is our final image here. And I hope you guys see how I took the image from the beginning to the end. Now, if you're looking at this image, you'll probably say, oh, it looks like there's nothing being done. That is, it looks like, because you have not changed the person drastically. You've just accentuate every part of the body. You just make things a little bit better and natural. And that way people are not like, oh my God, when you see some editing so heavy, everything is so smooth that you know that this is not possible in the real sense of it. I know some people like that, like some people, clients like that. If that's what your clients want, yeah, you have to do it. It's business if that's what they want. But also depends on, do you want to do it as well? Some people like people to know them for certain things, and they don't want to compromise what they do, and the client know them for that. So if you're happy to go ahead and do what your client want, that's absolutely fine, because it's part of business, and because you still have to make money. But I like the way this edit looks like now, and I'm zooming in right now. You guys can see that there's a lot that has changed right here, but I haven't changed the look of the person. I haven't made the skin too smooth. I've tried to make everything natural. Let me know in the box, in your chat box below, how you edit your photos and the software that you like or that you use frequently. Also, if you like this tutorial, please just smash the like button for me. That will help me to keep going. And also you can share this tutorial with your family and friends, or somebody that you think this will be very helpful to. Let's look back at the original image. So if I come back here is the original image right here. Okay, so I'm going to bring them to almost the same level. You guys can see the face, you can see everything is so like everything is like that. Now let's look at the final image. That's the final image. There is a difference in them now, and I think that looks good and looks better as well. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial today. Make sure you watch all the video on my YouTube channel as much as possible. Also, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And lastly, click on the notification bell to get notified each time I release a new video. Until next time, I say bye-bye, and I'll see you guys soon.